Good evening, everybody. This is Davey Jones, and we're from Pizza Hut in Bucyrus with Coach's Corner West on the WQEL Facebook page. We've got Bucyrus, Winford, and Buckeye Central on tap this evening. Our show is brought to you in part by Doug Luthold and the Associates in Advanced Fiber Technology, Coach Tim Plumley, Mohegan Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Matt Studer, Spitzer, Chrysler Dodge, Jeep Ram, Kia, a mile east of the Richland Mall. Also, Rob Lust at Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion, Matt Ramsey, John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Hyland, and everybody at Bucyrus Blades, serving worldwide markets since 1951, and Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe South Poplar at West Warren Street, Bucyrus. We'll talk with wrestling from Bucyrus. Later on, we've got the boys basketball team from Winford and the girls basketball team from Buckeye Central. The top of the agenda, Shane Kokensparger, who is the head coach of the wrestling program at Bucyrus High School. And Coach, let's talk a little about first of all, go over some of the preliminaries like we did last time. What's your total numbers look like? Have they improved since we talked to you last time?
We've lost a couple based on the rigorous program that we tried to instill. We're down to about 19 kids every day. We have all but one weight class filled when it comes down to crunch time. So the grind of the everyday wrestling season has taken its toll on some of the kids. Their mental capacity to compete day in and day out and just put your body through a grind took a toll on them for the first 4 weeks. So some of them bowed out gracefully and stepped aside.
Did we get some youth faces in this system this year?
We do. We have about 7 or 8 freshmen. Last year they did not have a middle school team.
Okay.
So very proud that we have so many young boys stepping up to take pride in what Bucyrus has to offer in wrestling.
We have a middle school team now.
We do. We have about 7 kids who they actually just competed in the Upper Sandusky tournament this week, and we had all but one kid win matches. A couple of kids earned placements. It's a growing program. We have 1 kid with experience, and the other 6 have never stepped on a mat.
All right.
So, growing.
Is this, I know we talked about this before, is wrestling an N10 sport?
It is. The only 2 schools that do not have wrestling are Winford and Crawford.
All right. But all other schools?
We did. We actually had a scrimmage with Bucyrus, Buckeye Central.
Okay.
We did go to Upper Sandusky to roll around with them for, and we'll call it a scrimmage, just sort of a practice. We will see Upper Sandusky this weekend at the BIT, and we'll see a couple other teams later on in the year.
What is the BIT?
It is the Bucyrus Invitational Wrestling Tournament, which is sponsored by Mohegan Sports Medicine this year.
All right, Tim Plumley does a great job. He's one of the sponsors of this show as well. Competition, who are the wrestling teams that just come right to the top of the cream of the crop?
So when you think cream of the crop, you think Addison Chargers.
Okay.
Defending state champs, team champs. They were the individual runner-up last year. They have won their conference 5 years in a row. Everybody looks up to Edison on how to build a program. They started very young, which Matt McKeever starting our biddy program, and we're hoping one day to be able to compete with that type of team.
All right. How is Matt starting the biddy program? Is he going down to the 3rd, 4th, 5th grades?
So Matt runs 4th through 6th graders.
Okay.
And then right after Christmas break, myself and Kyle Blankenship, we're going to take K through 3, and we're going to go 2 days a week. We're going to get them to about 3 or 4 tournaments, just so they can have the experiences of what it's like to practice and then how it is to compete.
All right. Where do you see yourself in the stream of things as far as the competition that we have to do?
So I believe that our team is shooting for an N10 championship.
All right.
Filling all but one weight class. I believe we have a solid 10 to 12 kids who are going to compete to stand on the podium at the N10s. As we have seen throughout the weeks, as we have seen through scrimmages with Finley and Allen East and Arcadia and Bluffton, we're not shying away from competition. We are inviting it to us, and we are going to go see it. We cannot get better if we win everything. You get better by your losses.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about your background. We talked about this before, but you have a wrestling program background that took place in Northwest Ohio.
I do. growing up, I wrestled at Springfield High School. When I got out of the military and I got done wrestling, I went to Toledo Public Schools and took over the Wake High School program,
Okay.
where they didn't have a program.
I did not know that.
Yes, Toledo Public Schools then canceled sports for a couple years. I came in
They had
with
some economic issues.
Yes.
In fact, I think they still don't have junior varsity football.
Well, they do. I believe they have it if they have enough players.
Okay.
But I took Wake High School, and we started off with the middle school with 13, 14 kids. Next year, we brought it up to the high school. When I left, we had 54 kids.
All right.
We were practicing at 6 a.m. to 7:30 just to accommodate all the kids we had. My family then moved. We moved to Findlay, and I started growing roots other places, and I was lucky enough to be offered a football position here with Coach Plumley,
All right.
and then offered the wrestling position. And I believe getting to know the kids and coaching both sports definitely helps bring the programs together. We don't want to build a wrestling program. We want to build an athletic program.
Good. Good.
So-
Sounds good. Coach, you're a few years younger than I am, but let's talk a little about the concept of wrestling and high school sports in general and total numbers. Now, back when I went to high school in Northwest Ohio as well, and I had 666 in my high school class at Toledo started in 1967.
Yes.
They have about half of them.
Yeah, when I graduated from Springfield High School, which is in Holland, Ohio, right off of McCord Road, my graduating class was like 320.
Okay.
I believe that's what's in Bucyrus's entire high school.
Yes.
So,
My son graduated from Bucyrus in 1999. He graduated in a class of 145. I think they had 79 last year.
yeah, it's a growing problem.
Okay.
I believe athletics breeds, and a winning culture brings the kids here.
Sure.
So when we start emphasizing a winning culture, which I believe is being done at all levels right now, then the kids will stay. They're not going to open enroll to Crawford and Winford. When they see Bucyrus has a winning football team, when they see we are making the great strides, when they see Bucyrus win the N10 in wrestling, and we're making those strides, kids are going to say, there's something special over there at Bucyrus, and they're going to stay.
All right. Let's talk about the Madison Invitational. I was talking with Dan Messerschmidt this afternoon.
Okay.
And Dan was telling me that you were impressive.
We were. So we only took 10 kids with us.
All right.
Some kids were just extras. They weren't able to get in the tournament. Some kids we kept out for, let's say, my reasons.
All right.
And we took 10 kids who wanted to scrap. Every kid won a match. All but one kid placed. We had two runners up. We had a couple fourths, a couple fifths. At one point in the team standings, we were all the way up to third.
All right.
Sparta Highland kind of ran away with the whole tournament. They had the numbers. They had all 14 kids. Sandusky took second. And we were ahead of them for a while, but when it comes down to the placement points, which is how wrestling works, we kind of dropped based on the 10 kids we had.
But there were 20 schools, and you still finished number 6.
Yes.
That's close to the top 25%.
It is. I think we could have done better.
All right.
I
As
get,
you just mentioned, you learned from this experience.
and so that's what today's practice was about. It was all about how do we defend this? How do we work on getting a better shot? How do we set up our angles? How do we do better what we did wrong? This Wednesday, we have a try at our place with Plymouth, Lucas, and Fredericktown.
I want to talk about that again here.
Okay.
All right, because we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because we need to have something to wrap it up, but I want to talk a little bit about that, but I also want to talk a little bit about some of the other matches that
Okay.
you're having up throughout the season, and a little bit about what you might think about the tournaments as well.
Okay.
Details come up on the show here in just a minute. We've got a lot of young people up and down the table here. We're going to talk to them about their wrestling and see some young ladies here, and they are very important parts of the team, although they're not wrestlers yet.
That is correct.
Right? And we're going to get some details on that. Our show brought to you in part by Lee Pliable and Brad Seibert at the Pliable Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallium, Hannah Newton, Wendy's, downtown Bucyrus, and Upper Sandusky, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus, Vince Ponziani and everybody at Waycraft Industries. Rod Steiger at Pizza Hut. Bucyrus and Gallion, the host of this show since 1992. And the Burkhardt family at Burkhardt Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on the Manette Winchester Road. We've got young people who are involved with the wrestling program. These first two young ladies here are team managers. I have, Jada, I'm trying to, Jada, right? Yeah, Jada Pickens and Kaylee Mason, who are both in the 9th grade and involved as team managers. What is your role as a team manager, Kaylee?
We basically just take
Get that microphone a little closer to you.
We basically just take stats for the wrestlers.
All right. How did you get involved in knowing about wrestling? I mean, did you just walk into it as a freshman? Did you have some experience in the past? How do you know to do this?
I didn't have any experience at all. Mr. K was like, "Do you want to be a manager?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, okay. So you've been on the fast track to learning then. How much learning did you have to do?
Well, I had 3 days to learn basically, so I had to do some fast learning.
All right. Let me give the microphone back to Coach here. Coach, why did you choose this young lady?
So I have had Kaylee and Jada in class as 8th graders.
Okay.
Both very well respected. I can trust them.
Okay.
There are very few words when it comes to the public, but they do a lot more than what you're saying. You know, they inventory, they make sure our med bags are packed, they make sure our matches are filmed and uploaded, they have all of our stats done. They don't like to be in the limelight, but I believe that to build a team, it takes everybody, and that is what we're trying to stress. And we could not do it as a team without those two. We do have a couple other. These girls have traveled with us to every scrimmage.
All right.
They have been to practices. They have been, they've cleaned mats. They have done all types of things just to make my job easier and help the boys. And again, if we're going to build a program, it takes everybody.
All right.
And that's why I felt it very important to recognize these two young ladies as
Okay,
part of
good,
Integral.
good. So maybe the microphone down to your colleague right next to you there. That is Jada Pickens, correct? So Jada, how did you get involved? Did Coach ask you as well?
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about what made you say yes. I mean, are you afraid of him, or are
No,
you?
he's
I was being facetious.
my favorite teacher,
Okay, good.
and he said I would enjoy it, and it gives me something to do in the winter.
All right. Now, Coach talked to me a little bit about the concept of a women's wrestling program. Jada, since you've got the microphone, are you at all interested in a women's wrestling program where you would actually down there and, cat fight with a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah? It sounds like a good idea.
Mhm.
And how would you, how do you think you would do it with something like that? Are you a learning experience? Can you learn from the guys? Can you learn from just being a manager, watching these guys? What's the scoop?
I'm a fast learner, and
How tough are you?
I can.
You can hold your
fight.
own, huh?
Yeah.
You got any brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
You got brothers?
Yes.
Can you smack them around a little bit?
Yes.
All right. Well, I think you're on the right track. Let's talk to your colleague next to you there, and that's Kaylee. Kaylee, no, wrong way.
Sorry.
Kaylee, how do you feel about women's wrestling?
I would like to do it,
Okay.
but I'm not sure about it yet.
You're not sure about it yet?
No.
You're not quite as confident as Jada, then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just having been around the guys' wrestling program, it helps you out, right?
Yeah, I've learned some moves, I guess.
All right.
I tried wrestling one of the boys the other day.
Really?
I did not too bad.
All right, very good. Let's move down to Dalton there. We got Dalton Barker, who's in the 11th grade. Dalton, what weight class are you, my friend?
120, 126.
And I understand you had a
132.
reasonably good weekend at the Madison tournament.
Yeah, I got
Talk to me about
second.
it.
Got second.
Second?
Got messed up a couple of times, but went 3-2. Only got beat by the same kid twice.
All right.
I think it went all right.
All right, where was the kid from that beat you?
I believe it was from Northwest.
Salem Northwestern.
Salem Northwest or something like that.
But did you learn anything by getting beat by this guy?
Yeah, arm bars hurt.
Okay. But he did teach you a few moves or anything like that, or can you take something out of those matches that you can take with you into the future?
Yeah, he uses quickness and used angles better than I did, and just a lot more fast than I was.
All right. So what do you got to do to become as good as he is?
I'll listen to that guy over there. Hopefully,
All right.
he'll show me what to do.
All right. Very good, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. Next, I got Bryant Pifer. Bryant, talk to me a little bit about, you played some football, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about what weight class you're in.
I wrestled 215.
All right, 215.
Yeah.
And how'd you do this weekend?
I took second. Didn't end the way I wanted to. A lot happened in the last match, but there's a learning experience to every loss. I see it as like I need to control the match more and set the pace myself and really push the tempo.
Who beat you from what school? What school?
I don't know his name.
Well, what do you know what school it's from?
Madison.
Madison. All right. But you did learn something from wrestling a guy who potentially is a little bit better than you, right?
What was that?
You learned something from wrestling a guy who potentially is a little bit better than you.
Maybe.
Maybe. Next time around, you'll get him, huh?
Yeah, I could have got him.
All right. Very good, buddy. Nice attitude. Thanks for coming by. And then we got Andy Case, who's a sophomore. Andy, what weight class are you in with him?
I'm 157.
157. How'd you do this weekend?
I started off pretty good, but then I got messed up the third round and then let that get to me mentally, and I started going bad downhill from there.
All right. So this is a mental thing as well as a physical thing, man, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what did you learn from your experience this weekend?
Try to stay cool, relaxed, and just like try to be in control of the whole thing, set your own pace, like Brian said.
All right, very good. You'll pass that microphone back down to Coach. We'll give our credits here and wrap things up with Coach here. Coach, our show is brought to you in part by Blythe Freedley and Todd McDougal at Freedley and Company Insurance up in Dutchtown, Ted Coder at Monarch Body Shop in Washington, the Ohio State University at Marion, a Big Ten education close to home, Mike Quinite, Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilling at Marion, Dr. Thomas M. Britton at Clubview Vision Center, Luann Krebs, River's Edge Embroidery and Screen Printing at Route 309, right across from the Marion Depot. And Coach, let's segue into talking about the future. You got a big tournament coming up at home.
We do. The Mohegan Sports Medicine Invitational at Bucyrus High School, I believe, is the official new name of it for the next 4 years. There'll be about 15, 16 teams there.
All right.
We'll be rolling out on Saturday morning, 10 a.m.
All right. I got to tell you right now, I appreciate Tim doing that. Tim does a very good job. When I had my double knee replacements, I went to Mohegan, and they did a superb job of getting me back on my feet pretty darn quick. I was surprised how quick I got back on my feet after double knee replacements. They did both of them on the same day, and they did a really great job at Mohegan. So talk to me a little bit about some of the other futures.
So this Wednesday we have a quad meet,
Okay.
which is Lucas, Frederickstown, and Plymouth at our place. I know Frederickstown has low numbers. Lucas doesn't have great numbers, so we're going to try and merge a couple weight classes to make it the best matchups we can.
I'm pretty sure Plymouth's got a kid named Clary.
And-
His dad was a wrestler, a heavyweight wrestler at Bucyrus probably 30 years ago.
Yeah, I know Dalton out there. I know their coach, but I
He's a
know.
football player. He was wrestling. I assume he
So
still is.
I think we're going to start off wrestling first with Plymouth,
Okay.
and then Plymouth will wrestle Lucas, and then we're gonna wrap it up with either us in Frederickstown, us and Lucas, and then our JV on Thursday is going to head up to Liberty Benton High School,
All right.
so they can get some matches in. But we have some big tournaments coming up. We're going to go on an overnight trip to Coldwater, Ohio.
All right.
Which is about 2.5, 3 hours away. We're going to stay overnight, come up and wrestle some competition that we're not used to seeing from that side of the state. Mapleton's got a big tournament. Plymouth has a big tournament. We're going to travel.
All right.
We're not just going to stay close to home. We want to see other things that are around us. But our goal is first place in the N10.
All right. Sounds good. It's a reasonable goal. Let's talk a little bit about state tournaments, sectionals, districts, regionals.
So our district tournament is the top 4 from sectionals go, which is held at Plymouth for the past couple of years. I believe with the 13 kids we have filling out the weight classes, we can get 8 to 10 to the district tournament. And I firmly believe in my heart with the 10 to 12 kids we get to districts, we can get 2 to 3 to state.
Coach, I gotta thank you for being a part of the show. I'm confident in your skills, but I'm more confident in your enthusiasm for this program.
And it's not just a program. This is my second year at Bucyrus. I thoroughly enjoy being there. The kids are wonderful. The new administration is second to none. They support us in anything we need. McKeever as the AD, you know,
Hometown boy.
He is. A wrestler guy.
Yeah.
He's a 3-time state qualifier. But we have all the support we need from the community right now. Our parents are doing a wonderful job stepping up, helping out with our tournament. And it's just, it's a great environment to know when you have a successful program, people buy in.
Very good. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
I appreciate it.
Young people, thank you so much for your time. We've been talking with the head coach of the wrestling program at Bucyrus, Shane Kokensparger. Coming up next, it's Winford boys basketball. We'll be back in just one moment.